ass. And I was hoping all day that it was going to turn around. And I had literally 7 or 6 minutes left until I can get out of the trade. I tore the mirror almost completely off the truck, rushing, turning into a road that didn't even look to see if there was a car coming. I could have ended up hitting someone. And the only thing I cared about was getting out of that painful feeling of I'm not in control. And I ran into a company called Kelco on Baltimore Street. I'm not sure if it's even there anymore. I hated going to that stop, but I went there on a day I'm not even supposed to service it. But that was the first place I could go to that had a phone that I didn't have to put a quarter into it. I just want to run to it, grab it, pick it up, and dial the number. And I got out of the trade. And as soon as I got out of the trade, even though the mirror was tore off and I had to go and tell my boss I messed that up, I hadn't had any accidents prior to that. You would think I'd be scared that I'm going to lose my job. Oh, but because I got out of the trade, in 10 minutes of driving, my breathing was regulated. Panic was gone. Yes, I took a loss. Yes, my mirrors tore up. And yes, I'm probably going to get in trouble when I go back to talk to my boss and tell him what I did. But I was able to take it. My mind wasn't clouded. I wasn't in a state of disorientation, which is what you're going to feel in these markets if you let yourself trade like this, not knowing what you're doing, without a model, over leveraging, over trading. You're placing too much on your system, expecting a lottery result to come in and save you. And people that don't have a model or know how to trade, they repeat this over and over and over again. And there's people that are pretending to be mentors and they have no idea what they're doing. They don't even touch on these topics. Panic, anxiety. I lived with it for years with it. And the first thing you have to control is how you think. And you won't know how you're going to derail yourself until you go through the exercises of watching price, recording what you feel, how you feel. Do you feel elated? Do you feel invincible? When do those things manifest themselves? When you're watching price, what does it look like in the chart? Because it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen sometimes for you that are impatient when you're in a trade with real money and you're going to feel invincible. And then all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. The market does what it's really going to do. And you're not looking for those things. You're looking for further evidence that you're perfect. You're looking for further evidence that you can't wait to go show everybody on social media how much money you just made. But you're not going to talk about how you had heart palpitations, you nearly pissed yourself, you feel like you're going to shit your pants, you feel like you're going to pass out, die. You're not going to share those results. You had no problem doing it. This is an everyday thing for you. And that in itself is problematic because you're lying to yourself if you do those things, and you're making your progress harder because you're saying that it's easy for you right now when you're struggling to go through it. Young men, listen, it is not shameful for you to say, I am really struggling right now to get this under my grasp. I'm a wreck emotionally and psychologically when I'm studying this stuff and when I'm taking trades. I know I shouldn't do it, but I can't stop myself. You're the same thing as a gambler going to a casino. You're the same thing as that young man that takes all of his money that's worked all week and sees the pretty girl at the end of the bar or across the club and says, you know what? I'm going to spend everything in my pocket with the expectation that I'm going to get that take profit of going home with her. And she's just going to run your stop. She's going to margin call you. But you're going to do it the same way next week with a different girl. When is the end? When are you going to stop doing those things? Think about it. What is going to be the catalyst that says, I'm not going to do those things? Because in the marketplace, blowing the account and not having any more money to refund it, guess what? That's the outcome that's coming. It's going to happen. It will absolutely happen to you. So you have to know what are these things that's going to trigger that. So that way you can recognize them and say, I'm not going to recklessly plunge ahead. I'm not going to meet a uncomfortable drawdown of a losing trade today. I'm not going to feed that with more losses. Yes, it's not fun going home with a losing trade. But you know what's worse? Blowing the account. making a small, less than 1% loss turn into 10% drawdown or maximum drawdown for the day, and you can't trade your account. That sucks. That's recklessness. And not enough is said about these types of things. And the closest I've ever heard, Mark Douglas doesn't even come close. He doesn't even come close. Not to be disrespectful. The book is essential. Everybody should have it in their library. It still doesn't pair with the logic of what you're doing is wrong and someone telling you how to fix it and you ignoring it. You may have read Mark Douglas's book, but are you implementing it? Yeah, I read it, man. Just like everybody else, I read that book. But how are you trading? You're not using anything from that book. You're doing everything that he says that is going to be a problem. Think about it. You know what you're doing many times is not what you should be doing. And you shun that conscious, that little inside voice that's yours. It's your conscience saying, I shouldn't press the button. And you think, oh, wait a minute. And then something. And I think about you all the time. I'm hoping you won't fall victim to these things. It doesn't mean you won't see or feel the impulses of them creeping in. You'll say, I know what this is going to do if I do that. I'm not going to do that. But there will be periods in your life when you're weak. And I'm weak right now. I'm fatigued. My firstborn almost, took himself out.
And I wanted a victim yesterday. I got it, but I did something I shouldn't have done. I traded in a time when I should not have traded. I gave myself over to my emotions. And I'm telling you, even though I made money, that doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. It's wrong. I should not have done it. And I feel guilty because as an educator, as a person that, well, a principal, I know I should not have done that. But I'm at a weekend, and I'm not just, please believe I'm not justifying this at all, but I am absolutely human. I have frailties like all of you. And I'm trying my best to wrestle through this. And one of the things I know I can do very well is go into the market and take from those that don't know. So once I did it, I reflected on it. I thought to myself, I shouldn't have done that. So I'm confessing in front of you today that I beat the fuck out of him yesterday, and I feel bad about it. Because I did it at a time when I shouldn't have done it. I was basically drunk, not on alcohol, but I had a bloodlust. I wanted to hurt somebody else because I'm in pain. I'm scared. I'm afraid of my son. You know, he's not out of the woods yet. He's getting better, but he's not out of the woods. So once you get through all this stuff, how do you know your model will deliver? Well, you focus on how. How will you engage price? That means, are you going to be a day trader? Are you going to be a swing trader? Are you going to be a scalper? Some of you think, well, I want to be a scalper because I don't feel comfortable in the marketplace and I want to get in and get out, and I'll be able to avoid losing trades, because if I can get in real quick, use these really small time frames, ICT is using 15-second charts now, that's probably the answer. It's not. You can trade on a daily chart. Trade less if it fits your personality. I have a very short-term attention span. I change my mind a lot frequently. So that's why I can excel in very, very small time frames. You may not have that. It doesn't mean you're stupid. Doesn't mean you're, thick or incapable of trading. It just means that your personality is a little bit slower at pace. It takes you a little bit more information and time to figure out what you want to do. Okay, you might be a good swing trader. If you're really fucking indecisive and it's really taking you, a lot to come to the conclusion about what you think the market's going to do, you're a perfect position trader, because it's going to take a whole lot more things to change your mind about the marketplace. And those words are as close as verbatim as I can get from what I learned from Larry Williams. He nailed that shit when he said that. And I believe that. And when I applied it to myself, it worked. When I tried to be a long-term position trader, it was fucking murderous to me. I couldn't do it. Every little fluctuation in price was driving me nuts. I couldn't stick with it. If you feel that way, you have to apply what your personality is to your trading and find an approach to trading, whether it be short-term, intraday, scalping, day trading, where you trade the full daily range, short-term trading, where you use the weekly range and you use 4-hour or 1-hour charts to time a setup that would be just like you would expect on the 1-minute chart for like model 2022 or a silver bullet. That same mindset being applied to a 4-hour, 1-hour chart, you can be a swing trader there. Short-term trader there. If you know day trading, you can pyramid using smaller time frames within that price run and parlay it up to even, much more than you'd ever imagine. But you can't do that right away. There's a lot of things you have to learn. But you have to know how you're going to do it. That means how you are going to engage price. Once you understand what you're going to do in terms of how, what is it you're waiting for in price? The what. We're looking at 4 things here: how, what, why, and when. How you're engaging price. That means what your model of engagement is: short-term trading, scalping, swing trading, position trading. But what are you patiently waiting for? What have you been doing case studies on? What are you conditioning yourself to anticipate in price action? Is it the silver bullet? Is it model 2022? Is it standard optimal trade entry? Are you looking for breakers? Like what is it you're looking for? Are you looking for reactions to old highs and reversals? So like turtle soup or climax reversal patterns, because you're a contrarian. That's the what. That's that model, your model. That's what you're looking for, what you're patiently waiting for. You're not shifting in and out of different things ICT's talked about before. The one thing that you feel drawn to in your studies that makes most sense to you, your early initial evidence of building an affinity for a specific thing I've either taught or mentioned, that's the one you start with. It doesn't mean abandon it when I release something new. You're hurting yourself when you do that. This is my shit, my creations. And I'm telling you, honestly, if you're dropping whatever you're working on, every time I present something new, thinking that's the thing that you needed better, you've wasted your time, and you're wasting your valuable time in developing understanding about price and yourself. Because the first part of this presentation today is paramount to you ever finding how a model will deliver consistently. You'll be too busy wrestling with yourself. Why? Why? What is it you're doing in price action? What is it that you're doing that trusts that model? The why behind why price should be doing what it's doing. The narrative is basically what I'm saying. Why should price react this way? Why should it or why will it not do this very thing that you're expecting in price? You have to have an understanding of narrative. What makes this market likely to behave a certain way? If the market is expected to go lower, you've been anticipating the market going lower on the weekly chart. There's something down there, 150 handles below where we're at the close on Friday. So your analysis on the weekend, if the market opens up, you're anticipating that it's likely to draw down 150 handles. Okay, that sets the tone for your bias going into the week. Then you want to see how we open on Sunday. On Monday morning, see how we traded overnight, what we did in the London session, and then how we primed for Monday's opening. What you would expect to see is a rally higher that's rejected. A clear and obvious shift in market structure with a displacement leg that has a fair value gap. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But you don't want that. You want fucking laser fucking lights and fucking shit flying across your fucking charts and all that kind of stuff. Because it's entertainment then. Fuck entertainment. I'm entertaining myself with the fucking money I'm making. Okay? I'm at war right now. I'm taking somebody's fucking head off in this marketplace. Everybody that gets in there, it's on the other side of my trade, it's falling on my sword. The why is why this market's going to fuck the average person that doesn't know what they're doing. That's narrative. How is this going to hurt the average retail trader? That's the most succinct, easy, straightforward, no fucking punches held explanation of narrative. Because that's exactly what it's doing. The less informed street money. How is it going to unwind on them? How is it going to remove them? How is it going to take from them? How is it going to stop them out so they can give their seat up on the bus? That's narrative. You can't read a chapter in a book. I can't talk about it in a long-winded video or a playlist. It needs to be experienced over months, seeing what price does. So 40-day bullshit don't work. 1 week boot camps don't fucking work. 1 year is a good foundation, but that's not enough either to be consistently profitable and that you'll fucking know that your model will deliver. Deliver to who? You. Price is doing whatever it wants to do. It's unaware that you have an interest in taking a trade. You haven't entered it yet. You're not in the marketplace. You're not part of the open interest right now. You're just in a part of, I'm watching price and see what happens. It's not even aware of you. But you have to trust this model will deliver for you. I love all of you as my students. I want to see you do all of you do well. But when I'm in a trade, this is the truth. I don't give a fuck if you're on the other side of it. I don't care. You made the mistake. You pay for it. That's what your mindset should be. Now, I'll leave it to you. You can wrestle with all that moral, bullshit about it. But the bottom line is whenever you win, whenever you make a profitable trade, you have taken from someone. And if that is a moral conflict for you, then you have to figure that out or stop trading. But here, we're fucking here. We're meat-eating motherfuckers, vampires, sucking the blood out of the retail mindset. We are literally caving their fucking skulls in, walking all over their fucking corpse and picking their pockets before we fucking leave. And if you want to say it any other way to make it more palatable for you, then that's your business. But that's just the way it is for me. That's how I look at it. It's barbaric, yes. But that's how I look at it, because I was that motherfucker that got stomped up and my pockets were picked when I was 20 years old. I know what that feels like. I'm coming back for retribution. I'm on my reparations, motherfucker. Give me my shit with interest. That's how I'm looking at it. Every time I go in there, I want somebody's ass on a silver platter, and I'm going home with it, parading it around. That's just the way it is. This is not 401k fucking investments, okay? Sit back and passively earn income. Fuck that. There's nothing passive. We are aggressively going out there, taking it by fucking force. We're waiting in ambush, waiting for this shit. Come into our crosshairs. Step in this fucking vantage point, and I'm going to pounce on your ass. We are predators here. We are apex fucking predators. We're not scavenging. We're not going around and picking up what was left. We're not fucking vultures that sit around and watch shit. And when the real work's done, the carcasses that are left, whatever meat's left over, then they go over there and eat on that. Fuck that shit. I want the prime cuts. I want that shit fresh off the bone. Some of you vegetarians are probably squeamish right now. Change it to whatever you want to call it. That's just how I think about things. So we talked about how, what, and why, but when? At a specific time of day, on a specific day, calendar and time of day. Everything, just like your favorite programs that show billions, just came back on. And for whatever reason, I was unable to keep up with it. I think it was like halfway through the first season. I know it's supposed to be a good show, and what I liked about it and what I saw was good. But does that fucking show or any show that you like watching just come on whenever it wants to fucking come on? Random times, every day, every week, it's something different? Fuck no. It's scheduled. Your model is a scheduled delivery for you. You have work hours. You have a time window. This is when I'm going to work. And when it's done, I turn the shit off. When billions watching, does it repeat? As soon as it ends, does it go right back on and play it again? No. You have to fucking wait until the next time it makes another broadcast of it. Patience is required. You're submitting to a process. The process is you're going to get it spoon-fed to you here, there, little on their time schedule. That's what the market does. That's all it's doing. And you can't force it. As much as you can't wait to see the next thing. So-and-so did this in the closing minutes of the show. I can't wait to watch it. I hope to see this happen. You can't make it play sooner. But you try to apply that mindset to trading. I just took a trade. I made money. Man, it feels fucking good. Let me get there and do it again. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? That's not your model. That's retail fucking Rick at the driver's wheel. Hello? Hope you're wearing your fucking seatbelt, because that's a fucking tree coming. When? A specific time of day. In the most refined way, silver bullet, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Folks, that's 60 minutes out of your 24 hours. Most of it's sleeping. I know some of you spend too much time sleeping. But that's a set window of time. It's just 60 minutes. 60 fucking minutes of your life. You have to be present. And you can change everything in your family tree. Yours and everybody behind you. 1 hour. 1 fucking hour. can change everything for you. Why are you so anxious? Why are you so confused about what it is you should be looking for? It's going to form between 10 o'clock and 11 every fucking day. It's going to form between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock every single day. It's going to form between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock every fucking day. It's going to form between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. That's 4 of them now. Which one can your schedule, your time of living through this existence on this spinning rock, you do? Which one can you do? I can't do any of them, ICT. I need to be able to trade in Asia. Well, then you have to be a long-term position trader. You're going to have to hold beyond a scalp. You're going to have to trade the daily range, because you can trade the Asian session. You can do that. But you have to be willing to sit through a lot of shit so your hit rate's going to be smaller. Your opportunity to trade will be more infrequent. But what do you mean by that? When you're bullish, when the market opens up and it's in Asia and you're expecting it to go higher for a series of days, if you get some kind of a Judas swing in Asia, then a shift in market structure, first fair value gap you get, buy it. Stop below the low. Let it go. Use the smallest leverage you can do. There it is. It's done. Teach me how to trade Asia. I just did. But it doesn't seem satisfying enough. And for some of you that heard that and you think, wow, I want to trade Asia. What do I mean? What does this mean by that? Right. You haven't spent time doing what? Where you have a lack of knowledge of price. All these things aren't. But you're all in a hurry to skip certain aspects of it, ignore certain things about yourself that are going to be problematic and plague you, and be the very roadblock to you being successful or profitable. So with all this said, this is not a winning strategy. All this said, this is not a winning strategy. What's missing? Sound money management. Impeccable trade management. There are two topics in it. Impeccable trade management. There are two topics in and of itself. They're completely in and of themselves two different things. But if you apply that, you have a complete holistic approach to working towards being consistently profitable, and then you will know. You will know. You don't need me to convince you. You don't need a Twitter space to encourage you and get you all riled up. Get your fucking feathers off. No, I fucking know. Okay. Even though today is a shit day, I don't like to trade these days. I know I can go out there today and make $15,000 and not even fucking try. I can do that. I know I can. I can trade the non-farm payroll tomorrow and make 15 grand. So today and tomorrow I can make $30,000. Do you have the confidence right now with your model? You have a model. I have many models. I know I have a half a dozen of them that will be in there today. And they won't be the 2022. They won't be Silver Bullet. They won't be breakers. They won't be anything you know about. Oh, look at this guy. He's selling a book. I'm not teaching that in my book. I'm not teaching that stuff. That's mine. It's for me and my family. But whenever no one can take it from you. It can't be diminished, but you need to guard it. Mentally, don't let anybody have any conversation about it. Don't live your life on social media presenting everything about what it is that you do. Because what you're inviting is other people's opinion about shit that you are not paying their bills. They're not going to reimburse you if you have a losing trading day. What fucking difference does it make if people know what you're doing? Be a gray man. They don't know you exist. You get in, you get out, live your life, do what the fuck you want to do, how you want to live it, because shit is about to get really fucked up. And earning income, not getting rich, earning income is paramount. One mini contract with a $50,000 trading account, funded whatever company out there that's doing it. I'm not repping anybody. I don't have the money to do that, ICT. Well, there's ways to do it now that wasn't available when I was coming up. And when you do these types of things and you submit to the idea that, okay, 20 bucks per handle, and I'm going to go in there, I'm going to try to go for 20 to 30. On average, net that a week. If you did that, even taxing it, doesn't that do a whole lot in terms of doing damage to the inflation that you're feeling right now? What's it costing you to live, to feed you and your family? Gas prices, energy prices, grocery bills. Lord forbid you have a medical emergency or something that takes you to a doctor. All that stuff's costing more money, and it's going to be even more harder to get things. So all that stuff's going to be a source of stress. But you should be excited about learning this, because you're going to have something that the majority of most people aren't going to have: hope. You'll have hope. You'll have the ability to know that whatever happens at your job, and whatever they say, well, we can't really do anything to raise you up because we can't afford to do any kind of raise now. You didn't get the promotion you were looking for to make more money. You won't have any grief about that, because what you're doing is you're building an empire. You don't realize it right now, but you're building a fucking empire. You might be working a job right now, doing things you don't like, making a little bit of money, struggling right now. Everybody's been there. I was there. And it's hard. I know, when you don't have anybody around you to encourage you, to pat you on the back, say, come on, man. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You're going to get there. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right things right now. If you're not doing what I talked about here today, well, guess what? It's going to be harder for you. It's going to be a lot more likely to be viewed as impossible for you if you don't think like this. These pages, okay? These little bullet points that I went through today. If it was mentioned in a book, you'd breeze right over it, wouldn't give a fuck about it. When you have these equity highs that you slip away from and you have drawdown, it literally feels like you're walking up to a mountain and you're looking up, getting a kink in your neck as you look up at the height, and you tell yourself, I gotta get all the way back up there. When before, when you were building it up, you didn't look at that like that. You were just trying to take one trade at a time. It was just one step at a time, like a rock climber. Where's my next foothold? Where's my next gripping point? That's all you cared about. You're doing the right thing. That's following the model. Now what's happening is when you are in drawdown, you're looking up at that mountain, that peak that you slid down from. And you're thinking, how am I going to get back up there? Well, fuck. How did you get there the first time? Incremental, modular steps. Basic, boring, following the rules, doing this, expecting that, doing this, expecting that, one piece at a time. Think about it. Before you go into drawdown, you're not trying to do crazy shit. You're just trying to do what's the next trade. Do that. Stop. Make your money, be done, turn the charts off, wait for the next session, wait for the next trading day. It's business. But now you're looking at that same business that you now have a loss. You're in drawdown. You're looking up at that old equity high, and you're telling yourself, this is going to be so hard to get back up to that. I just want to get through it really, really fast. And you're wrestling with these impulsive feelings that you got to get in there and just do really big trades, because you just got to get through it. The quicker I can climb back up there, the better. When that's absolutely the worst mentality to have. You need to tell yourself the same thing you did before. I'm going to find my next setup based on the model. I'm going to risk less money. I'm submitting to the idea now because I have to do this at a longer duration. I've pushed my finish line further away from me in time because I've created this drawdown. The drawdown is it's not an end of a career. It's a struggling point you have to wrestle through, yes. But the wonderful thing is, once you go through that first drawdown and you mitigate all of that, but you do so correctly. The worst thing you can do is go in there and YOLO, you only live once type trading, to try to get it all back in one fell swoop. It's over. Because what you'll think, if you are able to do that by luck, is that you're better than you really are. And that drawdown has not had any lasting impression on you to prevent you from being reckless in the future. So you're looking up at that peak, that equity high that you drew down from. Losing trade here, losing trade there, and now you're in drawdown. You're not to look at that and say, I got to quickly get back there. No, you don't. Because when you were taking your trades that got you there, you didn't say, I have to be there by this day. Nobody had that mentality, that mindset. When you were getting to that equity high, you were just taking one trade, next trade, next trade. That's all you're doing. But now, because you're in drawdown, your whole entire perspective about yourself, your abilities, and how it is that you're going to get back up there is completely distorted. That's what makes drawdown become a blown account. Not understanding that mentality that you're now holding is extremely fragile. It's so brittle that the next trade you put on, you're going to be so hypersensitive to every little fluctuation that it's going to make you scared. You're going to be impatient about it. You will not be willing to sit through the stop being hit again. You're going to be more likely to not want to use a stop loss like he did on Friday morning. And then when you don't have a stop and it goes past what your stop would have been, you'll be wrestling with, well, if I get out, it might be just going just past where my stop would have been, and then it reverses, and you start telling yourself that bullshit. You start giving yourself pillow talk on a one-night stand. Oh, honey, I really enjoyed the time with you. Let me just stay a little bit longer with you. When really you just want them to fall asleep so you can sneak out. You know you shouldn't be in that trade, but you start doing pillow talk. Yeah, I'll be all right. It's probably going to turn around, and the whole time it's just going deeper into you, running that sword deeper into you, and more damage is being done. And then finally you can't handle it and you get out. And then it moves in your favor. Not because your trade would have panned out, but because it's simply just doing something else. But your mind's going to see, oh, see, I did it wrong. And now you're going to go in there and chase it again. That's exactly what goes on in every trader's mind. When they're in drawdown, that's exactly what it is. So the only thing that is actually good about this is it happened on a Friday. So it forces 48 hours of decompression. You have to take time. You have to reset yourself. You got to remind yourself with positive self-talk that nothing has changed. These markets are still going to book the same way they book all the time. They're going to run for liquidity. They're going to go from premium to discount, discount to premium. They're going to run to inefficiencies. Everything's going to operate on time. You just did something incorrect. In this moment, because he's new, he doesn't have but just a couple of days of journals to look at. So he doesn't really have a plethora of experience of leaning back on when it was good. This is why it's essential for you to be to be journaling. That way, when you start practicing with forward testing and you feel like you have encountered a period where maybe they changed the algorithm, they're not changing shit. But you'll feel like everything's broke because you're just doing it wrong. And you'll feel depressed. You'll feel like you're not getting it. You go back to your journal and you read those entries where you saw this coming. The chart looks like this, and you feel better about it. And it gives you the motivation. It cheerleads you through it. He doesn't have that. So it's a lot harder for him right now because he's shamed, wanted to impress dad, wanted to do well, wanted to do something independent, all of himself. And then he did that. And I told him, I said, listen, don't be afraid because you did this to be able to go forward. Don't let it bog you down to make you feel like you're going to never be able to do this, because you're going to tell yourself all this weekend that you made a mistake and you want to be able to go back in time and never have done it. It's every trader's, regret. When they lose money, we all want to go back in time and not push the button on that trade or start trading on that day when you knew really wasn't anything in there to be trading, but I got time and get in and push the button. Maybe I'll get lucky and get some kind of a win. All those things we know after the fact, where hindsight's perfectly 20/20, and you can go back and pinpoint what it is that you did wrong. He's experiencing that for the first time right now. He's having to come to grips with nobody did it. Nobody did it to him. And he's looking for some way internally how he can take the responsibility and place it on something outside of himself. Just like I did when I was 20, and just like you listening to me. Even the people that say I'm a fraud and my stuff doesn't work, that shit's the truth about you too. You want to find some kind of external reason why you fucked up because it's uncomfortable. And that's what this industry does. It's a perfect mirror. It's better than the mirror when you go to your restroom and you look at yourself in the morning, brushing your teeth, getting yourself ready. That mirror just shows you a reflection of you. This industry shows you who you really are, because you can lie in that mirror. You can comb your hair and put makeup on and shave your face and put contact lenses on that are a different color. You can do all kinds of shit to change that. You can't wear a mask in this industry. All the masks fall off. As soon as you push that button, the real you is exposed. The real person inside of you, the person making the decisions, the one that's driving drunk behind the buys and the sells. That's it. That's the person that's responsible. And that sometimes is extremely difficult for an individual to take. It's extremely stressful. It's alarming sometimes when you discover, wow, I don't really have it all together. I thought I had it figured out. I had all these things, planned with all this success. And then when you put that trade on and you wrecked yourself, and then you tried to fix it, not knowing what it is you're doing, and then becoming impulsive, instead of realizing that, okay, I caused this situation, let me take a step back and slow down. That doesn't happen. It's speed up, do more of the same stupid stuff, and get worse. Why do you do that? Cortisol, adrenaline, and not knowing what you're doing. Remember, in your mind, it's the equivalent of you standing in your house with every wall on fire. The room you're in is filling up with smoke. It's an emergency. Outwardly, someone looking at you, they would never feel like that's what's going on inside your head. They happen to walk by, look at you at your trading desk. Yeah, you're in drawdown. Maybe you're not smiling, but they don't feel like you're going through any kind of emergency. But inside, the whole fucking world's coming to an end. And then what are you doing? You're trying to put out all those fires. That's what he experienced. That's what I experienced every time I blew an account. That's exactly what you experience all the time too. Send me a tweet and tell me, hell yeah, if that's exactly what you've encountered when you blew your account. And you'll see, you're not the only one. Everybody has gone through this at least a dozen times. Not just once, a dozen times. And until you get to that point where you know your model and you have mastered yourself, 18-year-old kid, especially a male, man, he's never going to be in control of himself. Not at 18. There's too many chemicals, being pushed through his natural development. I mean, he's at the peak of his testosterone too, so he feels like he can do everything, like he's superhuman. And that's why it's a little bit harder of a prick to his ego and pride when any failure comes, because he thinks that it should be the same feeling he has when he does anything else and succeeds at. So it's good for him to be humbled. It's good for him to learn like he's learning right now. It's also good for Dad, because I didn't give him money, because he would have probably spent more money in drawdown or loading the account without me being there. So in a lot of ways, I'm very thankful that he took this initiative to go this route. And I think that's the reason why he wanted to do it, because he knew his own impulses. He had it in his head. He didn't tell me, but I can tell you now, as I'm talking to you about and thinking about it, he had that in mind. Once he figured out what he thought he was going to be able to do, as soon as he felt that he could do that, when he was given the car keys without me in the car with him, riding shotgun, he was just going to go, he's going to go drive to town, and he was going to drive it until the brakes came off. And thankfully, he ran out of gas. And that threshold that they put you through, or two, and stop you, that's what he hit. So he didn't go off the bridge, but he hit a tree. So now he has damage that he has to get corrected. Still has the car to drive, $149,000 of that funded account thing, but I think it's like 147 something. Okay, but he has to be very careful. And I told him, I said, you got to listen and don't do anything apart from me being next to you. You don't have to do a reset. Because he was saying that's worst case scenario, Dad. If I would have blown it out, because that's what he was willing to accept. We could just do a reset. I don't care. I'll do that. But I just wanted to get it back right away. Why? Why did you feel like you have to get it back right away? Because I felt like I had to get it back. It just felt like I had to. No, you were telling yourself that. Nothing has to happen. Nothing. Nothing has to happen. You have to be comfortable between trades. You cannot have any kind of overwhelming impulsiveness to get in there to make something back or make something more. If you're doing that, that's the improper mindset. You are gambling. I promise you, if you're listening to me right now, if you are unstable and highly emotional, impatiently waiting to get into a trade, the best advice I can tell you is go do something else for 30 minutes. Come back. If you miss the move, who cares? That's not the last trade that's going to form. But if you lose your shit about having missed that move, you are a gambler. You are absolutely an uncontrolled gambler. You feel like you got to be in every move. I'm not teaching you to do that. And yesterday afternoon, I basically sat down with my son, and my older students they were privy to what I was doing. I was showing him buying and selling up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I said, listen, just because I can do this, just because I can do that, doesn't mean I sit in front of these charts and do that all day long. I want to pick my shots. I want to be able to do what makes sense to me. And on the trade I know is likely to occur, and I'm not in a rush to get into, and everything lines up and I have all the signatures I'm looking for, they're the ones I tweet to you. They're the ones that I'm going in and telling you, okay, I'm going long here. I'm taking a short. and they, boom, take off. Well, there's one. I did lose one. And I see people tweeting all the time, you did that on purpose. You took a look. No, I got it wrong that day. No, I'm not infallible. I did it wrong. But most times I'm not doing it wrong. I'm calling it before it happens, and there it is. But I showed him, I said, listen, just because I can do that doesn't mean I go in there and go hog wild with it. It's not necessary. You need to master yourself. Just because you have the sword in your hand and you can swing it all around doesn't mean that that's what you should be doing. You should keep it in its scabbard, unsheathe it, do one stroke. Iaido. It's the art of drawing a sword. You pull that blade out. As you're drawing it, it's also a cut. You remove the blood and then put it back in the scabbard. The cut and the drawing of the sword is all one motion. You're not out there like Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th fucking swinging around like a machete, trying to cut everything. And that's exactly what you become, a crazed, homicidal fucking psychopath when you're in drawdown. You literally have a machete in your hand and you think every candlestick's a fucking tree that you got to chop down. This is the one I'm going to do next. Oh, yeah, you printed that? Let me go. And the whole time, you're hacking yourself up. You're not cutting anything down except for your equity base. And you don't even realize it because you're a crazed homicidal maniac because you did it to yourself. And you're looking at it like somebody else did it to you or something else did it to you. And you did it. You have lost the plot. You've lost control of yourself. And the only thing that fixes that, time. You have to separate yourself, move away from the stimuli that's causing you to want to do those things, ground yourself, let the adrenaline and the cortisol burn off. It's going to take about a good 30 minutes. Cortisol lasts a little bit longer than the adrenaline. Adrenaline, several minutes and it's gone. Cortisol, it takes a little bit more time to burn that off. And then once you are in a proper state of mind, then you can deal with other things in your personal life and not be so snappy and punchy, ready to fight and have an argument. You won't feel like every little word that's being spoken to you has needles on it, pricking you. You won't argue with your spouse. You won't yell at your kids. You won't kick the dog. You won't get fired at your job. But when you're looking at that drawdown and you're staring up at it like it's a mountain that you're never going to be able to climb back up, and you have to hurry up and get back up there, like that's the thing that has to happen. Stop and listen to me for a second, okay? Nothing has changed. Everything is exactly the way it is right now and how it was exactly the same way when you were at the equity high. The system, the concepts, the methodology, and the way these markets book have not changed. The only thing that has changed is your perception about yourself, your own ability, and what you're going to do next. So you have a sense of heightened concern. You had a house fire. You want to hurry up and get your house restored. Does it happen like that in real life? No. You lose some things that you can't get back. That sense of I'm doing everything right, this feels great, this is a lot easier than I thought it was while you were making that equity high. Now you have loss. You didn't need to second guess yourself in the beginning, but now you have to second guess yourself. Am I going to do that to myself again? What am I going to do? If this trade turns against me, how am I going to feel? See, now you have that in your mind now. And you're feeling it when you don't know how to trade, which causes a great deal of anxiety, performance anxiety. And it's easy to talk yourself out of ever staying with this when that happens. And a lot of people quit. A lot of people quit, but still push the button because they can't take themselves away from it because they're in a state of mind. They're impulsive, they're reckless, and they just aren't willing to wrestle themselves into discipline. They've already quit. Subconsciously, they know they're never going to be able to do it, but they just want to push the button. Much like I mentioned before in a Twitter space, and I think I talked about it one time on a YouTube video lecture somewhere. On my first year honeymoon, I told you I took $100. That's all I had to take input into a, what do you call them? The slot machines. I could have brought more, but all I wanted to bring was $100 because I knew the chance of me making any money off of that is next to none. So I limited myself to $100. And I tried eventually, after being there for hours, trying to lose the $100. Like I was down, just wanted to be done with it, but I didn't want to walk away because I was like, this is stupid. Like I just want to lose it and be done. That's exactly what happens when you trade with the state of mind that my son has right now. You want to be able to say that you got pushed out of it by some external force. Yeah, stupid brokers. Yeah, the stupid market makers. They did it to me again. They got my stop. Ugh. Because then it makes it a lot easier to deal with. You didn't mess up. It was somebody else that did it to you. You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything wrong. You did everything wrong. And you have no sense of responsibility. And unfortunately, in this industry, responsibility is always yours. It's yours. It's not mine as the mentor. It's not your broker's. It's not the funded account company. It's not the company that you keep. It's not your spouse. It's yours. And some people that come into my fold or in this industry don't ever have the responsibility that's required to be a trader. And when they're first introduced to that necessity of having responsibility by having losing trades, when they did it to themselves, oh, this stuff doesn't work. It's a fraud. It's a scam. Despite how many times have I shown you beforehand what's going to happen. You've seen me executing trades. You have seen me use a live account. It's on my YouTube channel. I showed you every day logging into it. I showed you losing trades. I showed you drawdown, correcting the drawdown, doubling the account in 5 weeks with one contract. But you didn't show 30 years of that. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need to. Everybody that has a weak mind, they're going to manifest that outwardly in this industry when they suck ass. You can see who the weak people are. The people that chat too much. These things don't work. These things aren't profitable. These people are broke. They're in that state of mind that my son's feeling right now, and they never got out of it. They never got out of it. They're the guy that never got picked to be on the team. They're the last one picked, and they got a chip on their shoulder. My son has a chip on his shoulder right now. And I'm eager to see how he contends with that, because he's extremely competitive. Very competitive. He has told me to my face, and I love it. He goes, Dad, I'm going to be better than you. And damn it, I fucking want to see it. I want to see it. I want to do everything I can to make that fucking happen. I want that. I want to see it. I hope I live long enough to see him smoke my ass and be able to do it way better than me. I want that. And how he handles this moment right now. This one here. It's like a ember. It's not a flame. It's just a small little ember. And I'm trying to handle it extremely delicately. I don't want it to go out, but I also don't want to drop it into a combustible liquid that would turn into a wildfire, because then you get reckless, screw jobs like you see on the internet. They're just wired differently now because they're bent. They're not successful. They go around calling everybody a fraud, and they don't produce anything to show that they can be a trader that's consistent. The only thing to talk about is toxic stuff, pointing out anything that's could be viewed as subpar, but not acknowledging the things that are working and being called into account before it happens. I want to keep his passion burning. Like, I don't want to smolder it, which is why I said earlier, I want to jump his ass as his dad. Like, you fucked up, but it's not the right time to do that. When we get back to the equity high, then I'm going to chew his fucking ass out. He'll be in a better position because he can see, okay, yeah, I get it, Dad. You know, I watched what we did to get it back here. It's fine. Now it makes sense. But if I kick him in his face, rip his, head off and shake him by the lapels while he's feeling what he's feeling now, the only thing that would do is make him feel worse about what he's done. And that's just going to compound that loser's mentality that could really stay with him longer, hardship for him to learn, because he'll have a scar. See, he's not looking at me as the reason that I didn't inflict the scar that he's going to have. I didn't create that for him. He's going to walk through his career now knowing that he himself did that. So I'm allowing this condition to do what it does in everybody, but also I'm going to coach him, encouraging him along as his dad and also as an inner circle trader. Yes, it sucks, but you got to fucking suck it up, Buttercup. Because this is exactly what it's like the rest of your fucking career. When you go into drawdown, it is never fun. It's not fun. But I'm not, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm losing money. I have a losing trade. Oh, this sucks. Fuck that. Okay, I got that one wrong. What am I going to do next? Done. Handled. I have a process. He doesn't have a process. You didn't have a process when you went into drawdown, and then when you eventually blew your account, you had no process. You were in that burning house, and you were trying to put out the house fire because you didn't want all of your loved ones' things and your things, the things that you treasure in your life. You didn't want to see them all go up in smoke because you can't replace them. That's exactly what you're thinking about with that equity high. You think that's a family heirloom that you can't replace. The fuck out of here. That thing is something that you're going to go past. All this is a slingshot. Drawdowns are a slingshot. You go up to an equity high, you draw back to get more energy, and then let it go. Boom! New equity high. Eventually, you draw down again. Okay, that's no problem. I'm drawing down like a slingshot. And then, boom, new equity high. Just encounter it. You've been driving, you're doing everything correctly, and then all of a sudden, you did something silly, you did something stupid, you pushed it a little bit too much, and you have a losing trade. Okay, stop. Don't go back in. Wait till the next trading day. Give yourself some time. Remind yourself outwardly, with your own mouth, speaking it, tell yourself, there is no emergency. This losing trade is not an emergency. This is not something that I have to contend with immediately. I don't have to put this out as a fire. It's not a fire. It's a flat tire. It's not a barbecue. Your fucking car's not on fire on the side of the road. You had a flat tire. That's it. Change the fucking tire. That's all. Change the tire and get back on the road again. You can't do that if you melt the fucking car down with a car fire. You just can't do it. You have to get another one. Either reset the account or refund your account. That's not fun. It's expensive. So to avoid that, just let it be a flat tire. Stop. That's one losing trade. Okay, now you're angry. You're pissed off. Are you in the right state of mind to take a trade? No. So you have to have that as a process. As soon as you take a losing trade, boom, stop. Get up, walk away. 30 minutes minimum. I don't give a fuck what you think you're seeing in the charts. I don't care what I'm talking about on Twitter. Oh, it's going to be a big day. It's going to do this. It's going to draw here. Stop. Turn my ass off on Twitter. Don't look at social media. Turn your charts off. Leave for 30 minutes. Minimum. And when you come back, if you feel impulsive, like you got to be doing something, you are in a gambler's mindset and do not absolutely touch anything. But it's hard to pick up on all that unless you put some time between your loss and your next entry. I promise you, your next entry is going to be impulsive. It's going to be just reckless, stupid shit. Everybody does that.